This is Arcadius, and welcome back to Naval Creed. Today we'll be reviewing the Soviet battleship Sinop, the first of two Tier 7s. However, we will only be going over the Dreadnought line right now, so we will be waiting to go over Poltava, which is the other Tier 7, until the rest of the World War II line has been released and is available for all players to play. So until then, we're just going to go over Sinop, which is a very interesting battleship. She's a huge battleship. Just take a look at the one that comes after her. This is Navarino. This is Sinop. So there's a huge difference in the amount of mass and size of this ship. Alright, so what is so good about this ship? She is actually a very interesting ship in terms of her gun layout. As you can see here, you can't actually use your B turret when shooting directly ahead, which is a quite big hindrance. But you are the fastest ship with 16-inch guns at this tier, and that does give you a certain playstyle. So let's see what other stats we have before we hop into our playstyle. So we have 64,700 health, 24% torpedo damage resistance, up to 400 millimeters of armor, so almost 16 inches of armor. However, the belt only has about 12, and the rest is on the turrets. Soviet battleships have very, very armored turrets. If you can accept that, then yeah, you'll just most of the time never lose a turret. Armor-wise, I've only had a couple of games with her, and honestly, it's hard to engage or determine how good her armor is, because she's just such a large ship that no matter where you're hit, it's going to do damage most of the time. Yeah, you have the upper casemate deck here that can catch shells. You have soft 4, you have a soft stern, even more casemate, gun level right there. And then with only 12 inches of armor, that's nothing if you're being shot at with 16-inch guns, which I'm also pretty sure can go through your nose. But we will try and figure out that in game. Armor-wise, don't think too much. You're just a giant. You're kind of have like a German battleship kind of playstyle. You're there to soak up the shells, not ricochet them, and you don't soak them up very well. Guns, though, we have 16-inch guns arranged in 3 triple turrets, a fire rate of 1.9 rounds a minute, so pretty slow, 40 second 180 degree turn time. Damages are pretty decent as well. I'm pretty sure the AP maximum damage of 13,000 is the highest at this tier. So not only does she have fast 16-inch shells, she also has the heaviest hitting 16-inch shells. So that does make her very, very powerful in terms of gunpowder, at least. Guns can shoot out to 19.4 kilometers, secondary range of 4.4 kilometers. If you look, you have some secondaries on the side. You also have some turrets. I'm not quite sure what caliber these are. And I'm also pretty sure this is the only Dreadnought battleship that actually gets real turrets. Ismail kind of had some guns on the bow and direct stern, but I wouldn't necessarily call those turrets. More like just gun mounts and gun plates. All right. So secondary wise, you're absolutely worthless at this time. So like I said, anything Ismail and above, secondaries are just useless. Speed of 27 knots though. So the other battleships at this tier that have 16-inch guns, we have Nagato at about 25 knots, Colorado at 21, Maryland or West Virginia at 21, and then we have Nelson and Rodney at about 24. So to have a minimum of 2 knot speed advantage does give you a little bit of breathing room and how you determine the playing field. So she is the fastest gun platform with 16-inch guns. That doesn't mean she's the fastest battleship at this tier. There are other faster battleships, but having good speed and good guns is a definite bonus. AA stats, I mean, this is really the tier that you're starting to see powerful carriers, and you don't have the anti-aircraft to deal with it. So in reality, you have no defense against aircraft carriers. Battleships, you have good guns to deal damage, but you don't have the armor to take it. And cruisers, I mean, you're a big target, you don't turn very well, so you're going to be taking a lot of possible torpedoes and just HE spam. Even though you don't have much superstructure, you can still get some damage on the fore and aft ends pretty easily. And then destroyers, I mean, again, you're a large target, you can't maneuver very well, you don't soak up torpedoes very well, and you don't have the secondaries to deal with said destroyers. So all in all, this is a very situational battleship, and I think tried she's trying to be played off as a fast 16-inch gun battleship, but there's just a lot of negatives to her that doesn't make her seem very powerful at all. With that, let's toss her into a game and see if we can actually have a decent game with her. Alright, here we saw the game. 2 battleships and looks like 6 cruisers, which is actually the best kind of game I could ever want. There is no carriers and no destroyers. The cruisers, yes, there's quite a few of them, but they're all really easy ones to sink, except the Kitsushima. And even the other battleship, Nagato, is nothing I'm really too terrified about, even though she is one of these stronger tier 7s. Alright, so I do have health buffs and speed buffs applied, so do keep that in mind. And let's get this bus rolling. Now, this ship is not really good for battle tanking. She might look it, but as mentioned earlier, if you're looking directly ahead, you can only use Alpha turret, not Bravo turret. So that does definitely limit your ability to battle tank, since you're only using 1 of 3 guns. It's highly inefficient. So for gun angles, you're looking at something like this, which with 12 inches of belt armor would bounce most shells, I would think, except about A turret and forward. That will just catch a ton of shells, and maybe even a couple nose citadels if you have high enough battleship caliber. Okay, so waiting for targets. None of these ships ever get an aircraft either. That's never an option. So you have no way of like spotting over islands or advanced warning of torpedoes. All you have is the spotting you get with your ship yourself. Alright, so let's shoot at our enemy Sinop and see what kind of damage we can do at range. So the guns shells fly pretty fast through the air. That I don't have a problem with. 2 shell hits, only 1 did damage though. But you definitely have the makings of a sniper battleship, I would say. I do have her with the accuracy module. I don't think I have the captain skill yet, though. And then we're going to see what this Graf Spee does. I don't quite know what she's doing. But our shells are fast enough that I don't think we really have to worry about that. So let's see. Yep, 6 pens, 17,000 damage. That one definitely hurt. Alright, so Sinop is now at about 10 kilometers. At about a 45-degree angle, maybe? Let's see what we can do against her armor. Decent pens. No citadels yet, though. I do have to mop up some of these cruisers before they start launching torpedoes my way, though. I'm pretty sure I can go through the nose of Graf Spee. 2 overpens. A lot of them missed. Alright, so our secondaries are starting to open up. Let's see if they can do anything. Well, they did do a little damage, actually. Let's just finish you up. Next. Guys, our Pensacola got slapped too. Alright, let's see if we can do some work on this Nagato. If she's going to stay broadside, which she is not. Alright, cool. Let's see what else is there. Oh, there's the Sinop is still up. Oh, she is going to take a bunch of torps. So let's see. Oh, just kidding. They got soaked up by a wreck. Well, let's see if we can finish her off. So there's the Citadel, 27,000 damage. And yeah, that definitely hurt. And then it looks like the Akitsushima is going to finish her up. Right, directly bow, I can only use Alpha Turret. That's fine, I still do quite a bit of damage. I could lob some shells at this Akitsushima, but it's really just a waste of time. Alright, so we're point blank at this Nagato pretty much. Let's see what we can do with our 2 front turrets. 3 citadels. I would definitely take that. She is healing a little bit, but that just gives me more damage once I actually finish her off with another citadel. And then the last few cruisers are heading this way, so let's cut them off at the end of the island. As we have the first Graf Spee coming out, which actually survived pretty decently. I guess we can poppy heal. We didn't actually take much damage, but we weren't really shot at either. Alright, so let's focus secondaries on the Graf Spee, which just went down, and see what we can do against this Pepsi Cola. Which even secondaries are able to damage. And she ran into the wreck of the Graf Spee, and we should be able to finish her up here soon enough. Alright, and with that, I will have a nice victory. So let's see what we did. I don't think we did too good on damage numbers, but you never know sometimes. 183,000 damage, 3 ships were sunk, 62 shell hits, 3 aircraft shot down, 7 citadels, 50 secondary hits, and let's see what kind of damages. We had 177,000 damage in armor piercing. We didn't use a high explosive at all, and then secondary battery did about 6,000 damage. So almost like about 99% of my damage was just from my main gun's armor piercing. And those, like I said, those shells, maximum damage of 13,000 damage. And if you're getting multiple citadels on the target, they're definitely going to feel that, whether they are a battleship or not. But yeah, you have weaknesses against every single class in the game. So if you're going to play Sinop, just be prepared to take a lot of damage and probably not survive. And also have pretty terrible gun angles, especially with the B turret the way she is. It's just a different design that honestly I would say has its ups and downs, but mainly its downs. But it's not as bad as tomorrow's battleship that we are reviewing, and that being Navarino. But we will get into her when we get there. So with that, I will wrap up today's video. If you liked the video, make sure you like and subscribe for further content. And again, join me tomorrow while we go over the next Soviet battleship, Navarino. Take care.